Ever wondered why you still crave dessert even when you're stuffed? It's a common experience that many of us share. You might think it's just a lack of willpower, but there's more to it than that. You've polished off a huge dinner, savoring every bite of your favorite dishes. Your stomach is saying no more, you're feeling completely satisfied, maybe even a bit too full. But then, the dessert tray appears, almost like magic, filled with tempting treats. Suddenly, you're craving chocolate cake or a scoop of ice cream. It's as if your previous fullness vanishes. It feels like a separate stomach has awakened, one with a sweet tooth and no off switch. This is a universal feeling that many can relate to. This, my friends, is the dessert dilemma, a battle between our desire for sweets and our body's signals of fullness. This phenomenon isn't just about willpower though, it's deeply rooted in our biology and psychology. Our brains and bodies are wired in a way that makes us crave sweets, even when we're full. This wiring dates back to our ancestors. We can explore the science behind this craving and learn how to manage it. By understanding the mechanisms at play, we can make more informed choices. Understanding our bodies better can help us make healthier choices. It's not about depriving ourselves but finding a balance. It's a fascinating journey into the science of our cravings and how they connect to our evolutionary past. Our ancestors relied on high-calorie foods for survival. We'll discover why these cravings exist and how they helped our ancestors survive. This historical perspective can shed light on our modern eating habits. More importantly, we'll uncover practical tips to help you navigate the world of sweets in a balanced way. By understanding the science and history, we can enjoy desserts without guilt. Deep within our brains lies a complex system of reward pathways. These pathways are hardwired to seek pleasure and repeat behaviors that bring us joy. And guess what triggers these reward pathways like no other? You got it, sugar. When we eat sugary foods, our brains release dopamine. It's a feel-good chemical that gives us a surge of pleasure. This feeling is so powerful that our brains quickly associate sweets with pleasure and happiness. This reward system worked well for our ancestors who needed to seek out high-calorie foods for survival. In a world of scarcity, a sweet treat meant a valuable energy boost. However, in our modern world of abundance, this once helpful system can lead to excessive sugar consumption and health problems. Dopamine is often called the feel-good hormone, and for good reason. This powerful neurotransmitter is a key player in the brain's reward system, influencing not just our mood but also our motivation and sense of pleasure. This powerful neurotransmitter plays a crucial role in how our brains perceive pleasure and reward. It acts as a chemical messenger, transmitting signals between nerve cells in the brain. When we encounter something pleasurable, like the taste of a delicious dessert, our brains release a surge of dopamine. This release is what makes us feel good and want to repeat the experience. This dopamine rush creates a feeling of euphoria and satisfaction. It's a natural high that our brains are wired to seek out, reinforcing behaviors that are beneficial for our survival. However, our brains are tricky customers. They are constantly adapting to the stimuli we provide them, which can sometimes lead to unintended consequences. The more frequently we indulge in sugary treats, the more our brains adapt. This adaptation means that over time, the same amount of sugar doesn't produce the same dopamine rush. Over time, we build up a tolerance to the dopamine rush. This tolerance means that we need to consume even more sugar to achieve the same level of pleasure we once experienced. This means we need to consume even more sugar to achieve the same level of pleasure we once experienced. This can lead to a cycle of overconsumption, where we are constantly chasing that initial high. This cycle of craving and reward can be a slippery slope, leading to an overconsumption of sweets. The more we consume, the more we crave, and the harder it becomes to break the cycle. Understanding the role of dopamine helps us become more mindful of our dessert choices. By being aware of how our brains respond to sugar, we can make more informed decisions about what we eat. By recognizing that our brains are wired to seek out sugary rewards, we can start to break the cycle of cravings and make more conscious decisions about our food choices. This awareness can help us find a balance between enjoying treats and maintaining a healthy diet. Ever notice how you can eat a huge meal and feel completely stuffed, but still have room for dessert? That's your sensory-specific satiety at work. This fancy term simply means we get tired of eating the same flavors and textures. Our brains crave novelty, especially when it comes to taste. When we eat savory foods, our taste buds for those flavors get satisfied. However, our sweet receptors are still raring to go. This explains why that slice of chocolate cake still seems tempting even after a hearty meal. Our brains are telling us, sure, you've had enough savory, but what about something sweet? Our love affair with sugar isn't just a modern phenomenon, it's deeply rooted in our evolutionary history. For our ancestors who lived in a world without grocery stores or refrigerators, finding calorie-rich foods was essential for survival. Sweet foods, being naturally calorie-dense, were a valuable source of energy. Our ancestors evolved to develop a strong preference for sweet tastes. This preference helped them survive by driving them to seek out and consume calorie-rich foods like fruits and honey. These sweet treats provided the energy they needed to hunt, gather, and thrive in challenging environments. While our access to food has drastically changed, our primal instincts to seek out sweets remain. This innate preference for sugar, once crucial for survival, can lead to overindulgence in our modern world. Section 6. Ghrelin and leptin, the hunger hormones. Our bodies are complex machines regulated by a symphony of hormones that influence our appetite and satiety. Two key players in this hormonal orchestra are ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin, often called the hunger hormone, is produced in the stomach and signals to the brain when it's time to eat. Leptin, on the other hand, is produced by fat cells and acts as a satiety hormone, telling the brain when we've had enough. When we eat a balanced meal, leptin levels rise and ghrelin levels decrease, signaling to the brain that we are full and satisfied. However, sugary foods can disrupt this delicate hormonal balance. Consuming large amounts of sugar can lead to leptin resistance, meaning our brains become less responsive to leptin's satiety signals. This hormonal imbalance can leave us feeling hungry even when we've consumed enough calories, perpetuating the cycle of cravings and overeating. Section 7. Taming the sugar monster. So, how do we navigate our innate love for sweets in a world where sugary treats are readily available? It's not about swearing off dessert forever, it's about making mindful choices and developing strategies to manage cravings. Here are a few science-backed tips. First, hydrate. Often we mistake thirst for hunger. Before reaching for that cookie, drink a glass of water and wait a few minutes. You might find the craving subsides. Second, prioritize protein and fiber. Include protein and fiber in your meals. These nutrients help you feel fuller for longer, reducing the likelihood of sugar cravings. Third, don't deprive yourself. Allow yourself occasional treats. Deprivation can lead to intense cravings and overeating later on. By implementing these simple strategies, you can start to regain control over your cravings and develop a healthier relationship with sweets. Section 8. Finding sweet satisfaction. Remember, enjoying dessert is perfectly fine. It's about finding a balance that allows you to savor those sweet moments without sending your cravings into overdrive. Listen to your body. Eat when you're truly hungry, and stop when you're satisfied. Explore naturally sweet alternatives. Fruits, for example, offer sweetness along with valuable nutrients and fiber. Experiment with spices like cinnamon and nutmeg, which can add a touch of sweetness to your meals and beverages. By making mindful choices and understanding the science behind our cravings, we can enjoy the pleasures of dessert while maintaining a healthy and balanced lifestyle. Section 9. Conclusion. Listen to your body, not your cravings. Our brains and bodies are wired to seek out and enjoy sweet foods. This is a natural inclination that has been ingrained in us over millennia. The pleasure we derive from sugary treats is not just a modern phenomenon but a deeply rooted biological response. It's a legacy from our ancestors who relied on calorie-rich foods for survival. In ancient times, finding and consuming high-calorie foods was essential for enduring harsh conditions and ensuring the continuation of the species. This survival mechanism has been passed down through generations. However, in today's world of abundant sugary treats, this innate preference can lead to overconsumption and health problems. The easy availability of high-calorie foods can overwhelm our natural regulatory systems, leading to issues like obesity, diabetes, and other metabolic disorders. By understanding the science behind our cravings, the role of dopamine, which is often referred to as the feel-good neurotransmitter, we can begin to see why we are drawn to certain foods. Dopamine release in the brain reinforces behaviors that are pleasurable, making us more likely to seek out those experiences again. And the impact of hormones like ghrelin and leptin, which regulate hunger and satiety, we can gain a clearer picture of how our bodies signal hunger and fullness. Ghrelin, often called the hunger hormone, increases appetite, while leptin, known as the satiety hormone, helps to inhibit hunger and regulate energy balance. we can start to make more informed choices. By paying attention to these signals and understanding their origins, we can better navigate our food environment and make decisions that support our health. We can learn to distinguish between true hunger and cravings, recognizing when our body genuinely needs nourishment versus when we are experiencing a desire for something that may not be beneficial. And we can develop strategies to manage those cravings effectively. Techniques such as mindful eating, staying hydrated, and finding healthier alternatives can help us maintain control over our dietary choices. Remember, it's not about deprivation, it's about making mindful choices that allow you to enjoy the pleasures of food while prioritizing your health and well-being. Balancing indulgence with nutritious options can lead to a more satisfying and sustainable approach to eating. For more insights into healthy eating habits and managing cravings, visit healthwisebites.com. Our website offers a variety of resources, from expert articles to practical tips, all designed to help you build a healthier relationship with food. You'll find a wealth of information to support you on your journey to a healthier relationship with food. Whether you're looking for meal plans, nutritional advice, or strategies to curb cravings, healthwisebites.com has you covered.